Welcome back to Learn BC. You're here with Jared, and we're talking about order to cash, the sales cycle journey with Business Central. This video is SOP-2, and we're going to take you through the customer master. We're going to just show you a SOP for doing some maintenance, but we will also take you through adding a new client, and whoops, we made the client a duplicate, and we're going to show you how to clean it up and do a bit of maintenance. So the purpose of this video is to just give you a bit of confidence around a customer record as a salesperson. Now, each of our videos covers three things, and three things most importantly is the context and rules, the trigger, preconditions, key principles, the procedure, which is step-by-step actions, and doing a demo. Then we go through exceptions and post conditions. Now, with each of our videos, please like, share, subscribe, and email us at how@learnbc.today. Let's get started. Here we are in the customer master. We're going to talk through fields, actions, and maintenance. And the reality here is we're going to go through adding a customer template, adding a customer, action buttons and notes, merging customers, customer card fields, and I think I've got one more, calculated KPIs. Okay, so we've got a bunch of fields there, things that we're going to talk about there on the customer card. Now, the trigger itself is the procedure is triggered when an existing customer requires a data update, or you've added a new client, or when you're doing maintenance and you may need to merge a duplicate or do some cleanup. So really important key things to know is post in groups, drive finance, talk to finance, work with finance, use your finance team. If you're a sole operator setting this up, all good. You can watch the posting setups videos, but this should have been given to you by one of the finance team. Calculated fields are live. Like when you're looking at the stats on a customer record, it's live. Okay, so if something's not there, it's because it's not been done. So you can rely on the information, okay? And the training that we do with all of your different departments is to make sure that everybody treats that data as sacred, and as you do it, so it shall be. So it means your stats are always up to date. And the other thing here is merging is irreversible. If you're going to merge a customer record, please just remember, you got to merge the right way, and you could, make a problem for yourself, and that's okay. That's all right. So, all right, what's the procedure? We're going to look at the customer record. We're going to navigate to the fast tabs. I'm going to talk through the general address, invoicing, and payments of a card. I might also talk to you about shipping, because that's one that gets forgotten regularly. And depending on the region you're in, you may have registration for your GST or your trade number, your VAT number, or exemption certificates or whatever else. Okay, so depending on where you are within the world. Now, use the action ribbon. So first and foremost, look at your related customer-related history. Look at the transactional context of your card before you go and merge it into something. Okay, all right. When you're adding a new client, use your notes, your links, your attachments. Use it. Okay, store your files against the customer. This should be your single source of truth. And if you made a mistake, merge. So you get to merge the duplicate so that you don't lose any transactional history. If you have not traded on that customer record, just delete it. But it is easier to do a merge. So let's go have a look at Business Central and see how this applies to us today. Now, here I am in Business Central, and I've got myself a couple of customers that I want to add, and I've realized we've talked about the customer template in the last video, and I'm adding a company, and by default, it's going to turn around and add a customer into my list for me when I select this template. So I'm filling in a few little variables here which might be important. ENA, English Australia, document sending, profile we're using by default. I might want to select a price group or a discount group. I might want to, this all looks fine. Pricing includes GST or not. We've got here our cash. It's a company, and we're going to give them 14 days, not 1 month. And the cash flow terms, just here, reminder terms is domestic. Cash flow terms aren't on the template. That's fine. And that's fine. Location, I'm going to use the main location and set that up correctly. And our default shipments go out for delivery. So we've set ourselves up a bunch of things here in the template. And the template's going to ask us for which area is the customer in. It's going to ask us for the customer ID, which is mandatory, and we might also go the customer group. Okay, so it's going to give us a bunch of fields that we have to go and fill in. So the customer template just helps your team do it right the first time. So I know I've already got Additum, but let's pretend I've got 5,000 customers in here and I looked and spelt it wrong. So now my salesperson, me, is going in and adding a new customer as okay, LLC, and I've got the name wrong, right? It's the wrong name, wrong details. I'm the salesperson, which is fine. I'll just, I'm going to set myself as Jim, and credit limit of 15,000. And here I can see that it's blocked. I did that from a template just to show you. We like to make all customers as blocked. And then when you touch this to remove it, it's not enabled in this demo, but workflow approvals kick into gear and go, we've just sent an approval request to your manager to approve that. Okay. Workflows is a series we'll be doing. When you do, it means that here underneath request approval, it flags. If you want to know who the approval's gone off to, you can hit customer, and there should be an approvals button just here, and you can see who should be approving this transaction. But it protects your customer database from GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. Now, as we go down the card, we have here our general tab, which, well, we might run a responsibility center. We've got our name. I might have a credit limit. These are things that we may look at. I'm going down my card. I'm just going to add my address. Just like that. And Jared. Just as an example. All right. So we've added ourselves a customer, and I'm going to type Jared Learn BC guy. Cool. And it's added our contact. So we've got ourselves a customer. I'm going through the setup here, and it's inherited everything that we did before. So I don't really touch anything in invoicing. I go down to payments, and payments all flew through beautifully. I go down to shipping, and it's saying, hey, location code main. But one thing I haven't done is set up the ship to addresses for my customer. So I'm going to call this HQ, and I can set the default shipping defaults and configurations for each location, and I can add another one, which is storage, and it might be 15 Aspen. Okay, and it still ships from the main location. Okay, and we could go through and set the agent to Australia Post, or you could set, I think we've got FedEx or DHL. Yep, next day, just like that. So we can configure this. We've got a couple of locations here. And the reality is I want all of my shipments for this customer to go to the storage location. And so on the card, I'm going to set storage as a default. We've got ourselves a default set up now. This is great. I've got a customer card, and the reality is I haven't traded with them yet. Now, if I had, okay, right, you've gone through, you've got your general, you might put in registration details, but you've done your address, your invoicing, your payments. I've added the shipping. Okay, and we've created what we call a ship to location. Okay, so that's sitting here as a ship to address on the customer card. Now, let's say I go back and I come to a real shock realization. Oh, no, it's actually one new, and I've added them twice. We've got two customer cards now conflicting within the system. Okay, oh, that's him. That's the guy I was meeting with. Oh no, I've gone and added a duplicate record here. Okay, so a couple of things to take note of here, right? How do you handle that? The first things first, let's go into the Additum LLC related and get familiar with your actions and your related menu. Okay, you need to go through each of these and just understand what it does. New documents, we can change our pricing. I've got my general, most common customer buttons we would use. See the ledger, my dimensions. I can see here I've got to add my area and I've got to add my customer group. Okay, which it would fail a transaction if I hadn't done that because it said here code mandatory. All right, so when you're adding your customer card, You've got your statistics, your attachments over here, my attachments. I could add a contract, I could add my links, just put in a website address, or I could add notes here. Here is a cool note. And so you're onboarding your customers, okay? Make it thorough. It's even better if you go into making sure that your pricing is set by using what we call price groups. So if you're using tiered pricing and you've got tier 1 to 5 or 10, and you're throwing this customer into tier 3, you should have price groups set for each of your customers. And this means pricing is always going to be accurate as you're turning around and adding a transaction for this customer. All right. Now, I don't know if I've traded with this, but I know I've made a boo-boo and I've added a duplicate customer. So I'm going to go related, history, ledger entries, and it's going to tell me, have we traded before? Well, this tells the truth. No. Okay. But in your circumstance, it may have. Okay. The other things you could do, you could go into history statistics, okay, and look at the statistics for the card, and we can see nothing here has happened. So we're pretty safe at the moment. My standard process, if making an error like that, we will turn around and just hit the delete button, which is up the top here. And when you do that, are you sure? Yes, we go delete. But what happens, okay, if you're not sure, you've got history here and you want to bring it over, or you've gone and added 50 contacts against the customer here. I've got Jared and I've got 50 other people. You've put so much more effort into this customer. You've got all of their shipping locations and it's not on the other card. Like, oh, I'm going to have to add all of that again. And you got a headache. Well, we go into actions, functions, and we've got this cool feature here called merge with. Now, merge with is saying merge with the entity. So by merging two records are combined into one. Before merging, review the field values you want to keep or override. All right. So by default, we're merging into additum. Okay. Now, what it's saying here with the override is if the field value on the current record should be overridden by the value in the duplicate. Okay. So the current value, if you leave this blank and I hit merge, it's going to overwrite the correct company. I don't want to do that. I want to select override. We're merging the bad company record into the good company. I'm going to leave the number alone. All right, so I'm just going to straight down the page, down arrow on my keyboard, spacebar, all the way down. And some of these fields you won't be able to merge. So for example, we're going to keep the image, primary contact staying. That's fine. And I'm going to keep all of their details. That's great. So we've got ourselves a healthy position here, but I'm going to, you can't touch the customer ID. You can't do that. That's fine. All right. So if I hit merge here, there's 4 conflicts that are going to pop up. Let's go take a look. We've got dimensions and we've got an email setup. Now, when you go into one of these particular errors, right, you get to be able to turn around, rename the duplicate or remove the duplicate. Okay. So, which is pretty cool. And so you can work through these one at a time and choose what record you're keeping. Once you've done that, you hit finalize and it is done. It's going to trash effectively the wrong record and merge it into one customer card, which is very cool. All right. So what are the exceptions? Look, if you're posting groups missing, you need to set it. All right. So you should be setting it, and please do not go into the setup unless you are approved by finance or you're a sole builder. If you're doing this and the posting group's missing from the drop down, you're going to have to, you need to build it. Okay. That's a reality. Now, if you've been asked to play with BC and your team have not given you this is going to be a problem. You need posting groups. And the second thing here is the customer master. If it works, you're current and you've cleaned up your record. I've gone into some customers and they've got 6 clients against the same client. And the correct way to do this is you merge it all. You bring it all under one account, nice and clean, tidy it up. You got a nice, clean data set within the system. So really what we're talking about here is we've reviewed the customer card, the fields. You've got your KPIs there. We've explored the action buttons for transactional context, and we learned how to add notes, links, and attachments. You've understood the irreversible process of merging customers. So the reality is we're going to now go through the same process with the item card. So follow us, subscribe, come along for the journey. If you've got questions, add a comment to the video and we'll come back to you within 24 hours with a response. We'll see you in the next video.